Took a bus ride from Bari to Alberobello one morning. We went to the bus terminal to see about buying tickets. We were told at the ticket area that there was a convenience store behind the bus terminal that sells the tickets. So we weren't sure what side of the street it was on and how far down. And just as we were about to give up, I told Mark, let's keep going. Sure enough, we found it. We bought the tickets with cash. It was $5 each for one way.
Alberobello, the trulli capital, is a fairy tale experience. Trullo, a conical-shaped roof building unique to the region of Puglia in southeastern Italy, and especially in the town of Alberobello, where they are used as dwellings. Upon the whitewashed cylindrical wall, circles of gray stone held in place by lateral position and gravity, and without mortar, were piled into the pinnacle. Probably originating with the local Stone Age culture, the trulli have been perpetuated as a folk tradition, possibly because of the local shortage of lumber and the abundance of stone fragments that must be removed to permit land cultivation. The trulli are protected by Italian law as a national monument. Alberobello is a town in Italy's Puglia region. Here are some fun facts about Alberobello. The name Alberobello means beautiful tree in Latin. While the name suggests a beautiful tree, the area was originally densely vegetated and called Silva Arboris Belli, meaning the forest of the tree of war.
The trullis were used for various purposes. They were used as homes, storehouses, and field shelters. Alberobello is a UNESCO World Heritage Site as of 1996. This recognition highlights the unique architect and the historical significance of the trulli. There's a church built as a trullio. The Church of St. Antonio is a unique example of a trullio church. Some trullis are still inhabited. Many locals still live in the trulli, keeping the tradition alive. Alberobello is a popular tourist destination. The town draws visitors from around the world to experience its unique architect and charm. Alberobello, Italy has a population of 10,237 as of 2022.
The first occupation of the area in the early 16th century on the impulse of Count Conversano Andrea Matteo III Acquaviva di Argona, he allowed about 40 peasant families from Noci to settle there and cultivate the land with the obligation to give them 1/10 of the crops. The history of the trulli from the ancient Greek is linked to Pragmatica de Baronibus, the edict in the 15th century kingdom of Naples that subjected every new settlement to a tribute. In 1481, accounts of Conversano di Acquaviva di Argona. From 1481, the owners of the territory of Alberobello then imposed on residents that they build their dwellings dry without using mortars, so that they could be configured as precarious buildings and easily demolished. Having to use only stones peasants found in round form with self-supporting domed roof in the simplest configuration. The roofs were embellished with decorative pinnacles representing the signature of the architect. In 1635, his successor, Count Girolamo III, erected an inn with a tavern and an oratory and started the urbanization of the forest with construction of a few small houses. The expansion of the urban area was helped by the abundance of limestone, karst, and calcareous sedimentary, and by the permission of the Count to build the houses with only dry walls without the use of mortar, which would become the peculiar trulli. This obligation to have the houses built with dry stones was an expedient of the Count to avoid paying taxes to the Spanish viceroy for the Kingdom of Naples.
So I just wanted to remind you to keep in mind that the morning bus going to Alberobello is only once early in the morning. It's an easy day trip by the bus. It was $20 round trip for both of us. The return buses leave about, I think it's every half hour to an hour, where it drops you off in Alberobello. Once you arrive where the bus drops you off, you buy your return ticket back to Bari out of a vending machine. The price was the same, $5 on the return ticket, and we had to use a credit card to pay with. It didn't take cash. The walk from where we were dropped off to Trulli community was about a 15-minute walk.
Yeah, about 15 to 20 minutes. Now, walking around Alberobello and looking at hundreds, if not 1,000 or more, of these trulli houses was pretty amazing. Just the architecture and the design that went into place to keep these things standing was amazing. And also, there were a lot of restaurants there, a lot of souvenir shops. Here we are walking kind of on the other side of Alberobello. This part was a little less populated, I think, and not as many stores, but still a nice walk.
Here's the restaurant that we ate at, which was right there in town. Like Mark was saying, there was many restaurants to choose from. Of course, pasta, right, with pesto. I personally loved walking around there. I thought that it was a great place to spend an afternoon. I loved the structures of the buildings. I loved how so much stone was just used for everything. The walkways, the houses, the roofing, and I love that it was white. It was just really unique, and I felt like that I was back at, like, I don't know, a hobbit village or something like that.
Yeah. Almost kind of magical in some way.
Yeah. It was like stepping back into the, hobbit houses, Hobbit era, I don't know what you want to call it, the Hobbit movie.
So what we're looking at here is like the central square. Not many Hobbit buildings there. There are a few, but not many. And then there was some live music going on here, as there were throughout the village where we walked.
Final thoughts: if you want to visit a unique place and take a walk back in time for a few hours and grab some lunch, a glass of wine, relax, walk around, shop, walk down the narrow streets of Trulli houses, this is a fun day for a journey. Though, I will say, there are not many benches or sitting areas in the main square. I personally think it's worth visiting.
Yeah, me too.
If you like what we're doing, we hope that you'll subscribe to our channel.